Good morning. Dia, magandang umaga. Wanted to make a quick little video just to show you something I did on the house, which rather surprised me. I made a new friend, and he took me to the local shopping mall. So basically, down here in Grasinas, we've got malls, we got all sorts, which is not in the village. So you can lead a quiet life here, and then you can go a couple of kilometers in the car, and then you've got everything you want. So it's just great. You don't have to go all the way into Penella. There are building supply companies, there are hardware stores, there are all sorts. One of these sort of drive-in, out-of-town centres. So I got that. And then driving along, he pointed out a house which was a sort of blonde-looking coloured house. And I said, "Oh, is that a new build?" And he said, "No, no, no." He says, "It's just some English people have fixed it up and cleaned it up and done it up." And I said, "Whoa, so could my house be like that underneath all the rendering?" And this is sort of, it's been plastered on the outside with lime cement, and it's got this horrible phoenix sign on the side there, phoenix. So he said, yeah, he said, "If you knock that off, you'll find it's like that underneath." So I thought, I've got to try this. So, drum roll, I got my hammer and I started banging away. I started knocking off the plaster and the rendering rather, and there you go. And I got that. So this here, I hope this camera picks this up, is the original construction of the house. The funny thing is, the stones are absolutely clean as a whistle underneath there. So that would make you think that it had been plastered shortly after it had been built. No, I don't think so. I think what it is the material that's plastered on. When it cleaves off, it actually cleans the stone. So this is absolutely pristine. More stuff needs brushing off. It's rather pinky coloured, so I've got to get all this stuff off here. Probably a wire brush job. The rendering is actually sort of pointed the thing. I will point the building at some time in the future, but for the minute that'll do. And it looks so much, I don't know, it looks alive, it looks so much better. It's, I don't know, it feels like the house has got some horrible burden off it. And if you look upwards, you've got that hideous, dull grey finish. Now, I don't care if you lime wash this or what you do, it's just hideous, it's horrible. So, I had a bit of an attack at old Phoenix here. I thought I maybe should leave it on because I can tell people where the house is, because when they need guidance, I say, "Oh, it's the one with Phoenix on the front." But underneath there's one of those stones. There are the stones down the bottom. And this, if I carry on chipping away, I'll find that the original stone is there. So anyway, I ended up absolutely filthy last night, with, covered in this lime stuff. So I had to have a shower, a really thorough shower, which took ages, and everything here is taking so long. So I have to really try and keep out of the physical work at the minute until I get these Open University assignments finished. And that's it. So it's got great potential. An interesting point I found out, there are houses for sale in the village. Stand here in the shade. There are houses in the village for sale. So I asked about the price of them, and they're way more expensive than my house. And the guy came past yesterday and he said, "Oh, you paid a lot for this. You paid too much for this house." And this other house is in need of complete restoration. Except you probably got to clear the thing out as well. I don't have to clear this house out. It's all been done. Maybe some predecessor of mine tried to do it, but there's no woodwork left in here, so I've got a clean start. Anyway, it turns out this house is for 30,000 euros, whereas my house cost 19,000 euros. So what that's telling me is that the house prices around here are starting to skyrocket. And I did hear that prices had gone up 85% in Portugal. And I put this down to COVID, because what happened is we had the COVID crisis, and then all of these countries that depend on tourism had to open up eventually, and Portugal was the first one to do so by a few months. Therefore, everybody was determined they were going to have a holiday, so they said, stuff it, we'll go to Portugal. And they did. And these people had never been to Portugal before. And then it turned up and they thought, some of them, a percentage of any population will say, rather like this. And a lot would say they didn't like it, but they wouldn't come back. But the ones that liked it have obviously started thinking about buying houses here, and it's now so much on the internet about Portugal, and even myself, I'm contributing to this by putting this video out. We're all talking about it. So I guess that's what's jacked the prices up. It's good for me, good for the country, good for me in the sense that my house is worth more, but I have no intention of selling it. But the point that the guy made, the guy that was criticising me for paying 19,000 for this place, I said to him, you've got your little allotment of land that he comes down and tends and grows a few vegetables on. You come down there and you get to look at your land for 5 minutes, and then you have to go off back to your home in the village and look out the front door at another house opposite you. And I said, I own all of this because I have the view of all of this all the time. I can sit and look at your piece of land all day long if I want to. Just sit and look at it, or I can look at this whole valley. It's just mine, I have the view all the time, and I have the pleasure of the changing light through the day and seasons and everything. So personally, I think I've got the best deal in the village. So anyway, big pan round the old panorama. So I've got this. As my daughter once said when she couldn't speak English and she wanted to show me something, she said, I got this. So I got this. And that, it's not just about the house. It is about what comes with it and all the other little benefits. And that white house there is my nearest neighbour. So that's another thing. I don't have to please anybody. I'm down here, do my own thing, out of the way, and not getting on anybody's nerves. See people, I have a pleasant interchange with them because I've never had an unpleasant interchange with them, and I never will. So that's the way to do it. Anyway, that's it for today, and I'm going to try and stay off this chipping stuff off the wall. I thought maybe if I just every day maybe knocked a square foot off, just had a bit pick, while you're waiting for a cup of tea to boil, have a bit pick, and eventually the whole wall will do itself. I'm not gonna stand out here in the stinking heat, chipping away all day, and also it generates quite a lot of rubbish which I've now got to dispose of. So, Jesus be with you. Where's that? I can't see.